Hello, first week of school's in the books. Hope everybody's feeling good. At the start of another school year, as I've been doing since the summer, I'm gonna try to always start these off with some gratitude for all the great work that's going on across the district. Today, I wanted to highlight again the operations staff for having everything ready for the start of school. Our facilities are really in good shape. We really appreciate all the work that goes into keeping things that way. And also wanted to thank all the coaches, getting all of our fall student athletes out on the fields and the courts ready to compete and having a great time doing it. And we've been lucky with the weather. Just great to see our students all out there doing it for, doing what they can to champion everything that happens with our athletic competitions. We're looking forward to upcoming open houses. Encourage all parents to make the most of the opportunity to meet with our amazing faculty and staff and see our facilities in person. And as I said, we have a light agenda tonight, just one policy to vote on and a few contracts. So I'd like to just move us along to Dr. Ackerman.
So thank you, Ryan. We did have a great first week of school, and we're getting ready to invite our elementary parents in on Thursday for open house. So we're really excited to do that. And tonight we have a few items on the agenda we just want to share some updates about to the community. So we have begun sending out the week again, where we're doing a synopsis of all of our news that is released during the previous week. And then we're just highlighting a few areas for our community's consideration. We got some feedback from the communication committee last year that was really helpful. And so I would just like to remind our families that this will be coming out on Sunday, and it's important just to take notice of like some of the things that we're sharing with you, because we feel like it's important for you to know it, and it's not an information overload. So we hope it's more digestible. And so tonight we have our neutrality on non-school related matters policy up for a third reading. And at this point, I am going to recommend that you act on adoption consideration, because we did push this out to the entire community. And we only got one comment on it. It was a positive with a little bit of a grammatical suggestion, which we've made. And so I feel like we're in a good place with this policy. I think we've done some important work in the policy committee to try to get us to a place where we have a working document that will particularly help the district and the high school specifically, as we try to really navigate complicated issues, making sure that all students feel that their identity is valued. And so this is on the agenda for your consideration for adoption tonight. And if this moves through, then this would be something that we would share out in the week. And then Sandy specifically will be using this because she has a couple pending matters that this policy would apply towards. We are recommending that we extend Gravity Goldberg's contract. She's working with our literacy program, and invite her to come in on Superintendent's Conference Day to do a keynote for our entire staff on the science of reading. So Adam, did you want to just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've had Gravity here doing professional development with us now all of last year as well as this year. The faculty has been very impressed with her. We have her working mainly with our middle school English teachers, has been kind of her niche working here, but her experience is much broader than that. She's now a college professor for several colleges, also does adjunct work. She's an author of nine different books, and we think it would be a nice opportunity for her to speak to the entire faculty on November 1st. We're hoping to make the theme for that day literacy across the content areas. So we think she should be a nice person to kick off the day for us.
And we're starting our reading fellowship tomorrow, and then we're going to be looking at how are we going to make some shifts based on our audit from last year. So we'll be updating the board in our January meeting on our progress around how we're kind of reshaping our curriculum K-8. And we also are supporting our DET fellowship, and that's going to begin on Thursday. And we sent out an email to the community to solicit parent membership, and we do have 3 parents that are joining that committee moving forward. So that's really exciting too. Okay, so now we've some of our staff.
I'm
yes.
sorry, excuse me, before I forget. Is there a cutoff as to how many people could join the DET and the finance committee?
So
because I don't know,
yeah,
the board committee.
So we wound up accepting everyone that applied to both committees. So we had enough space for everyone that wanted to be a part of it.
Great.
So that worked out nicely, right, Josh? And so, so now we have to make some shifts based on some, late notifications we received of some of our staff that were hired as administrators in districts outside of our own, which is great. We're very happy for whenever our teachers are promoted to leadership positions. But because of a recent vacancy in the PD team, we are recommending that we to have a temporary leadership adjustment just for this year only to try to work through that. So we're not pulling anyone out of the classroom to support this level of work moving forward, since we didn't anticipate this vacancy. So Adam, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so this was after a lot of consideration, discussion among the cabinet and others to think about how we could, reshape the team, especially this time of year. It presents all kinds of challenges with regard to finding people for all positions across the board. And so we're trying to have, a person that can really come in and be, tremendous value add without potentially losing some talent from a classroom that is working with our students. And so as Dr. Ackerman had mentioned, we had a professional developer who has moved on to another district in an administrative role that opens up an opportunity and the kind of the budgeted money for that person. We also reduced that director of elementary education last year. And so there's that kind of job description still sitting there. So we're thinking about a person who could straddle both of those worlds, provide some professional development support and some of that logistical support, while at the same time helping to fill some of the gap that was left in that director of elementary education. So I'm not going to go through all the bullets, but these were quite a few things that were pulled from both of those job descriptions. And we think by doing this, we could tap into a different kind of a resource, perhaps a recently retired administrator. This would be an administrative position, but an intern position, maybe full-time or almost full-time. And we could tap into a different pool of potential candidates because we wouldn't necessarily be pulling a classroom teacher out for a position like this.
So if everyone's comfortable with this approach, then we'll advertise it, and at a future meeting, we would move forward with a recommendation. And then we have a new software that we're moving forward and using to support our MTSS process. So Jamie, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure. So for the past several years, I have been facilitating the MTSS leadership team in the district. And it's a team comprised of building level administrators as well as district level administrators. And basically what we've been doing is designing the process of MTSS, which is providing students with the support that they need at the earliest possible time that we've identified the need. And so what we've done up to this point is we will take all the data that we have and we're making charts and we're putting it into our computer so that we can have as much information about an individual student when we are trying to put an intervention plan in place for them. So Branching Minds is a tool for MTSS teams, and it's up here it says database. It's kind of a combination of a database and a dashboard where all the data that we have on a student is in one place. So it makes it easy for the team to analyze the data, collaborate with each other, and then match the need that what the data says the student needs with a research-based intervention. It includes academic, social, and emotional information. And one of the things when the team selected Branching Minds, there's a competitor's product called EduClimber. But one of the things that the team liked a lot about Branching Minds is it has a social emotional screener that you can use with all kids. Because it seems like one of the hardest things to identify is where are those social emotional needs and how can we intervene early before it rises to a level of very serious and possibly needing special education intervention. So the plan for the upcoming year is to pilot with K-4. Our elementary schools are a little bit further along with the MTSS process than the middle school, but the middle school leaders will be a part of it and learning it and understanding it so that they can join in shortly after, because we have only heard the most wonderful things about this product and how it has helped schools in the area really move their MTSS process forward. So we're really looking forward to playing around with the tool and getting it in place so that we can meet our students' needs as early as possible.
Okay, and just as I had mentioned, this week we have open house for elementary families. Next week, homecoming is here. And then we also have a work schedule planned on September 8th for the Board of Education, where we'll be talking about our handbook. And also, the board will be discussing committee selection because today is the last day that community members could express interest in one of the multiple board committees that's looking for 2-year membership. And then there's on the 20th, we have our family gathering here on that Friday of homecoming. So we're looking forward to supporting that event with our PTA. And then you can see we have our picture days scattered throughout. So that is the end of the superintendent report.